This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Radio Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.
Welcome to the Final Fantasy Lorecast, where we take a deep dive into the lore of the Final Fantasy universe, such as the characters, stories, and so much more. Hosted by Ben of Temeria and Steve-O. Welcome back, Warriors of Light, to another episode of the Final Fantasy Lorecast. I am one of your hosts, Brandon, or also known as Ben of Temeria, and always with me is my good friend, Steven.
Yo, I'm so excited for this one. I've been waiting for this one since we started.
Yeah, so we were trying to brainstorm things of who we should talk about this week, and Steven here is like, hey, we've done a lot of heroes, but we've only done one villain. And I was like, oh my god, you're right. And it's like, let's do it. Let's do Kefka. So that's who we're doing today. Kefka Palazzo. I think that's how you pronounce his last name.
I always have.
Well, this is FF 6. Thank you. I almost said 4, and I was like, that's not right. Which obviously was not voiced. So.
Yeah. So good luck. Don't yell at us over the names on this one.
But we do. I mean.
Knows.
We do get Kefka voiced later in the series through, Dissidia and then FF14 as well, because he's in that in a raid. So spoilers, which we'll get towards the end of the episode. Kefka laugh.
Yes.
But yeah, so Kefka Palazzo, also known as Kefka with a C, which is, I've never seen that before, is the main antagonist of Final Fantasy VI. The court mage of the Gestalian Empire, Kefka was their first experimental Magitech knight, giving him the ability to use magic. However, the process was not yet perfected, and the infusion damaged Kefka's mind, transforming him into a maniacal harlequin with an unquenchable thirst for blood.
Womp womp.
Yeah. Womp womp is right. Chaotic and unpredictable in his drive to cause destruction, Kefka eventually turned on the Emperor Greshel and seized control of the Warring Triad to become a god of magic and used their power to destroy the known world, which obviously we'll get through his story in this episode as well. And then the names are even changed from Japanese to English. Don't sweat it. Terra was Tina. That's a fair point. Though also back then, with how the games were made and with the very little data that you put on said cartridges, and also tech boxes weren't that big, they had to change some things around to make it somewhat work. So, yeah. So Kefka has been well received critically and is often considered by reviewers and analysts to be one of the greatest villains in the Final Fantasy series and video games as a whole.
I wholeheartedly agree. He is my favorite villain in the series.
I need to play through. I have the Pixel Collection. I haven't touched it yet.
I
need to so bad.
You could play it tonight while 14.
I could play it tonight while 14 is on down for maintenance. I could.
Boom, mark it down. What is it? 2 minutes in? 3
I
minutes
said
in?
it earlier with like his.
Well, recording.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
you
I
did.
said
Yeah,
it.
you're
I
right.
did.
Yeah.
So, as his appearance goes around, Kefka has a long blonde hair tied into a ponytail, worn with a feathered headdress. His face is painted white with red around the eyes, and his lips are varietably bright red or purple. He wears a large ruffle collar and is primarily yellow with red stripes. His eyes are green. So, he looks like a Harlequin, a clown.
He looks like a clown.
So
He also looks like, for any Digimon fans out there, he looks like Piedmon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Which I wouldn't be surprised that Digimon inspired Piedmon based off Kefka.
I wouldn't be surprised at all, because Piedmon is basically just an evil clown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in his original concept art, which was been used for the basis of the spin-off appearances, Kefka wears robes with an erratic mix of colors and patterns. The torso and robes are a mashup of white and pink polka dots, black and yellow stripes, and plain purple. He wears a long red cloak with yellow lining and red triangle trim along the interior, and yellow and red tassels along the edge. Emerging from above his left shoulder is a mass of materials in different patterns. The largest is white with red triangle trim, and with it is 3 more splashes of material, yellow and blue crown like patterns, blue with red and white stripes and red trim, and the last is solid green. So, just different outfits for him.
He's just a mess of colors.
Yeah.
It's just colors everywhere.
If you look at him, he is already a mess of colors.
He is.
His left sleeve is red with an elbow length yellow glove that fades to white as the wrist and other green accents along the fingers. His right sleeve is puff purple pattern with red polka dots and ends above the elbow at a yellow material. His glove is orange with a large cuff, white fingers, and red claws, and a white swirl patterns that like flames emerge from under the cuff and run up his sleeve. Again, more colors. And then his leggings are red with a left leg runs down the boot, which is a two-tone black with pink and gold lining, and the right leg with the has the red end above the knee over a single blue tight. And his boots is white with a black triangle trim and pink lining. Both the boots are pointed and curled. Finally, he has yellow skirt wrapped around his waist and a red sash dangling over his right leg, which bears a pattern of black triangles and red lining and half black, half white spots. This guy is literally like so eccentric of design.
He is.
It's insane.
But it's just so chaotic. It's a perfect design for him because of what his character is. He's just like, he is a chainsaw in a bathtub or in a hot tub. He's just chaos, and his colors perfectly reflect it. Which, funny enough, they went into all that effort with the design and everything, and then when you're playing the actual game, he's
There's
just
no color.
A sprite with like a red. No,
Yeah.
he's just, you see his blonde hair and his red robe. That's all you see.
Mm-hmm. So, alternate concept arts depict Kefka in differently colored robes with different patterns. One such art was used in the base of Kefka's sprite as a boss in Final Fantasy VI and has influenced his design in some spin-off appearances. The primary differences between his usual appearance and the variants of his clothing features more white and pink. His leggings have white and black stripes, and his collar ruffled is white and with alternating red and blue triangles instead of yellow and red stripes. Another concept art that served as the basis for Kefka's field sprite in the Super NES release of Final Fantasy VI gives him robes in various shades of green and yellow with red on his right leg.
Yes, which you do not see very much of.
No. The Super NES field sprite also depicts him having slightly gray hair similar to Locke Cole. His field sprite in the 2014 iOS and Steam release is redesigned to bear a stronger resemblance to his concept art and battle sprites, giving him red and orange robes with a green belt, purple boots, and his cape has green spots along the edge and larger green pattern along the back of his neck that resembles leaves. He also has a more vibrant shade of blonde hair. His pixel remaster sprite is refined to bear even closer resemblance to the concept art. Kefka wears his red robes and has a green collar, a yellow and green belt, a red sash on his waist, one blue legging, purple boots, and a green and red cape. He also has a lighter skin tone than other characters to give him the impression of his white makeup. So the pixel remaster did even better with it, which is probably what I might be playing. It's either that or 6. I'm actually going to go and finish 16.
I'd definitely recommend playing the remaster version of it. It makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, and also helps that they have, hey, here's like 10 times EXP, and so you can actually get through
that.
Wow, I might.
The game is so easy without any boosts like that you really have to try to not beat it.
That's fair. So, as the god of magic, the only remaining traits of Kefka's previous human form are his blonde ponytail and feathered headdress. His skin is violet and has a bare sleeve for a purple loincloth wrapped around his waist. The exact shade of his skin and loincloth vary between depictions. He is more muscular and, in some depictions, has a golden crest of swirls running along the center of his torso. So this is like when he's a god. Which we'll, obviously get to later. Kefka also has 6 wings in this form. The upper pairs are feathered wings in a pale purple color, and a lower pair is a set of leather wings, black with a gradient purple lining. The central pair of feathered wings are much longer than the other 2, and in some depictions, Kefka's upper pair wings merge with the middle pair.
So he is terrifying in every form. But
yeah.
So if you
don't like clowns, there you go.
Well, I don't even have a fear of clowns, but this, when you look at him, I think he's the most terrifying Final Fantasy villain. There's all the monsters and crazy design. Sephiroth is Sephiroth, but Kefka is terrifying because he's just so nuts.
I mean, they went from one of the best villains in Final Fantasy, which Kefka, to the next best villain, which is Sephiroth, literally from game to game.
Yeah.
From 6 to 7.
They're villains from...
Hey, how do we make this... How do we make Kefka... How do we make the next villain as bad as Kefka? Oh, let's just do the same thing, but silver hair.
I mean, the villains... I'm only going to speak from my personal experience, because I've only played from 4 on, but the run from 4 to 7 with villains is just nuts. They just knocked it out of the park. Golbez, X-Death, Kefka, and Sephiroth just back to back to back to back. Boom.
Yep. So now moving into his personality, so Kefka cares nothing about anyone or anything but himself and finds no greater joy in life than inflicting suffering and death onto others. He has no long-reaching goal for his destructive actions. Destruction itself is the goal. He manipulates the emotions of others and will readily lie without hesitation, but his purpose for doing this is again usually nothing but his own amusement and tormenting them. Kefka's need to inflict suffering drives him to continuously greater heights to saturate his urges, communicating with the reunion. Yeah, I can't talk.
Ruination
of the entire world and the deaths of countless creatures. Thank you. So, yeah, he's mad. Period. Yeah. Oh, no, my niece is not happy.
He is dancing mad, some would say.
Yeah. So, confronted by the party at the end of the game, Kefka reveals the ultimate revelation he has achieved, that life is meaningless. All things that live will die. Everything people care about will be destroyed, and everything they achieve will be forgotten. Because of this, Kefka declares that struggling to continue living in the face of death is pointless and stupid, and people should accept their fates and surrender themselves to destruction at his hands. When the party refutes his claims with their personal reasons for living, Kefka flies into a rage and declares that he will destroy those reasons. That the concepts of love and hope are worthless, and he will destroy them all as well.
So he's nuts, basically.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is why he's so terrifying, because there's no motivation. He's just I just like hurting people.
Kill people.
You
okay,
know?
Cool. That's what I like.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
So you're crazy.
Dissidia Final Fantasy and Dissidia 0 or 12 Final Fantasy grants a more tragic insight into this mindset. Kefka is so insane and twisted by Magitech experimentation that he's incapable of understanding love and hope and only feels joy when destroying, and his actions are born out of continuously escalating need to satisfy destructive urges that will never fully sated. He eventually resorts to destroying himself to see if he would finally be enough, self-destructing in a mournful cackle.
Yeah. Which is interesting because that's also like that's a lot of Terra's story arc in 6 is that she can't feel emotions like love
Yeah.
and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
until she rescues the kids, that's when she finally does it. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
They did that little connection.
There you go. Kefka is flamboyant and childish. He's short-tempered, flies into rage at the slightest provocation, and has no self-control or restraint. He cracks dark jokes about the aristocrats he commits and frequently breaks into hysterical laughter. He is a narcissist who enjoys cross-dressing and admiring his own appearance in mirrors. His Ultimedia profile states that he enjoys playing with dolls and hates General Leo, who is a morally upstanding soldier. Though he enjoys hurting others, Kefka cannot stand to be hurt himself, and the sight of his own blood sends him to a violent rage.
Yeah. So if you didn't get the picture by now,
Yeah. He's
not a great guy.
insane.
Yeah.
In the Japanese versions of Final Fantasy VI, Kefka's dialogue places greater emphasis on his childish nature, while Western releases emphasize his hateful and cruel side. In the Japanese version of Final Fantasy VI, he refers to himself with the first-person pronoun Bakuchin, a pronoun usually reserved for young boys. His more childish depiction was evenly shown as an extent in overseas releases with the Dissidia games. Most notably, he comments to Terra during their fight in Destiny Odyssey.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He does like one of the best is when he has sand in his boots. That's one of the best scenes in my opinion in the game.
Right.
He just freaks out because he's got sand in his boots.
He has sand in his boots.
Mm-hmm.
Now moving into his abilities. So, God.
Yeah.
Kefka's power grows throughout Final Fantasy VI as he accumulates magicite and absorbs powers from the Espers. He prefers ice and poison spells as well as the Drain spell. When faced as a cinematic enemy using his field sprite, Kefka wields a Morning Star as his weapon.
Makes
Just
sense.
bonks
Most
people on the
diabolical.
Yeah. Bonks people in the head.
Yeah.
I mean, Steven here does that in our D&D campaign, so...
I do. I could bonk him.
So Kefka has an aptitude with machines. He uses a slave crown to control Terra, operates a pair of cranes to attack the party, and his tower contains extensive factory areas, still in operation with upgraded forms of Imperial Magitech machines. Prior to becoming a god, he was strong enough to neutralize the powers of Espers and possess a spell to instantly kill them and transform them into magicite, which could cast on groups of Espers after taking a moment of to channel his power. The ability he used to neutralize Esper magic was also implied to be capable of killing non-Espers. At the level of power, he could also create convincing illusions of himself and others that have them fight for him while he remained hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boxer on chat says, Kefka's abilities, can we just say he had all materia, lol?
He
did.
He had all the magic.
Yeah. So, as the god of magic, Kefka possesses some of the strongest magical attacks in the game, and it has, in this form, that spin-off title is usually based his skill shot on. Kefka uses Faraga, Blizzaga, Thundaga, the most powerful thunder spell. And his Heartless Angel drains the party's HP to 1. He possesses a powerful physical attack called Havoc Wing, which in spin-offs is depicted as Kefka using his wing to strike. Other attacks include hyperdrive, sending a wave of explosions along the ground at a target, Thrine, using a triangular field of energy to infect status ailments, Meteor, summoning a swarm of meteorites to bombard the party, and Ultima, creating a sphere of energy that grows and explodes.
So he's got all of them.
Yeah. Kefka's ultimate attack in Final Fantasy VI is Forsaken, which assaults the party with a wave of magical energy with a distinct visual effect similar to television static. Though he does not use it as a boss, Kefka also possesses the Light of Judgment, a beam of destructive light that fires upon from high atop his tower, destroyed towns that anger him. In spin-off titles, either Forsaken or Light of Judgment are often depicted as Kefka's limit break or equivalent mechanic.
Yeah.
A recurrent theme in Kefka's attacks is that they hit in an erratic pattern that are difficult to protect, such as the Faraga spell zigzagging in the air before converging on enemies in the Dissidia series. In Final Fantasy XIV, he can invert the areas of his spell's effects, leaving the spots that would normally hit as the safe areas.
It's very annoying.
Yes. Oh my god, they're annoying as hell.
Not a fun raid.
No. As the god of magic, Kefka's telekinetic powers are strong enough to levitate debris from around the world to form a massive tower to serve as his lair. When the party confronts him, he levitates them and throws them around with ease. He creates monsters to defend his tower and revives the Warring Triad from their petrification for the same purpose. He possesses at least a minor level of omniscient, able to see things around the world, and the man in Tenzin claims that he felt like Kefka was watching him shortly before the Light of Judgment struck the town. Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah. He somehow gets more terrifying every new thing we read.
Right? Kefka's Light of Judgment is strong enough to sink towns into the sea and severely alter the landscape around them, and is implied that it may create monsters in its wake. Due to the nature as the god of magic, Kefka is the source of magic in the world, and his death marks the end of magic and the destruction of all espers and magicite. Spoiler.
Again.
When the party confronts Kefka, he appears before them using his normal field sprite, but when he is in his god form in battle, it is unclear that it's due to technical limitations or if Kefka is able to shift between his human form and god form. His appearance in other titles depict him as being able to shift at will, entirely or partially, to manifest his wings to attack with. So, yeah, he's bonkers strong, period. I don't care which version he is. So now finally getting into his story. So in his early life, so prior to the start of Final Fantasy VI, Kefka was the first experimental Magitech Knight, a process that gave him the power to cast magic. The process was imperfect, however, and Kefka's mind was damaged, transforming him into a destructive madman. Kefka became infamous in the Empire for his cruelty, not hesitating to murder even women and children. These behaviors alienated Kefka from the Imperial soldiers, but earned Emperor Greshel's appreciation that he began to trust Kefka with more important assignments. That's terrifying. Don't trust a madman.
Well, yeah, it comes back to bite him, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Which will, yeah. So now going into with his servitude. So when word came that a frozen esper has been dug up in the northern town of Narshi, Kefka used a slave crown to take control of Terra. As a test of his control over her, Kefka ordered her to burn 50 Imperial soldiers, which she did. The incident was heard in the lands beyond the Empire, sparking rumors of a dangerous witch in their ranks. So, yeah, blame Kefka for that.
Yeah.
I mean, blame everything on him in 6.
Mostly, yeah.
He also attended alongside the other high-ranking Imperial officers. Is this Ciels or C's?
I always said Celeste.
Celeste. Okay,
I think
Celeste.
it's open to interpretation.
Yeah. Celeste and Leo, Emperor Greshel's declaration of war speech proceeding to salute him, though he is neglected to motion for Terra to do the same. Kefka sent Terra to Narshi with Biggs and Wedge as her escorts to retrieve the frozen Esper. Though the three defeated Narshi's guards and found the Esper, the creature reacted to Terra's presence, killed Biggs and Wedge, and damaged the slave crown, knocking Terra unconscious. Terra was smuggled out of Narshi by Locke, a member of the Returners, a resistance group opposed to the Empire. Grushel sent Kefka to Figaro Castle to investigate Terra's disappearance, while Locke took her there. A king of Farago, Edgar, was publicly an Imperial ally, but secretly backed the Returners. Kefka made little secret of hating the mission due to Farago's location in the middle of the desert, not caring if the orders came from Emperor Grushel, as well as forced his accompanying men to dust off his shoes.
Yeah.
He doesn't like sand.
It's not like sand. He's much like Anakin.
Yeah, much like Anakin in that respect. So Edgar feigned ignorance of Terra's whereabouts when Kefka questioned him, but Kefka was not fooled and returned at night to set fire to Faraga. He demanded that Edgar bring Terra to him, but Edgar had prepared for Kefka's treachery and fled the castle with Locke and Terra on chocobos. After which Farago Castle buried into the desert, Kefka ordered his escort, 2 Imperial soldiers, piloting Magitech armor, to attack them, but the trio defeated them and made their escape. He's trying. Kind of.
Yeah, he hasn't quite got to his big bad moment yet.
Oh no. So Kefka headed to the Imperial camp on the outside of Doma Castle. Where have we heard that name before?
Oh, I didn't even put that together.
General Leo was leading the siege of the castle, but the efforts had been stymied.
Stymied, yeah.
Stymied. Kefka intended to usurp Leo's command of the Imperial force and break the stalemate by poisoning Doma's water supply. Leo refused to allow Kefka to use such inhumane tactics, but when he was recalled by Emperor Greshel, Kefka put his plan in action, also forcing a reluctant soldier to go through the plan, while making it clear that he didn't care if any Imperial prisoner of wars were to survive. Dun. Yeah.
His tracks.
Yeah. So Edgar's brother, Sabin, was infiltrating the camp with the ninja mercenary Shadow, and when they overheard Kefka's intent, they intervened to stop him. The Imperial stalled the 2 long enough for Kefka to dump the poison, and Doma was decimated. The lone survivor of the massacre, Cyan, joined forces with Sabin and the Returners.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough scene to watch there with Cyan.
Kefka led a larger Imperial force to Narshi to lay siege to the city and take the frozen Esper. The Returners, Terra, Locke, Edgar, Sabin, Cyan, and other new allies, Celeste, a former Imperial general who was imprisoned due to speaking out against Kefka's poisoning plot, and Gao, a wild child, regrouped at Narshi and organized the defense of the city. On the cliffs above Narshi, where the townsfolk moved the Esper, the Returners made their stand against Kefka and his forces and fought their way through the Imperial ranks to defeat Kefka. Kefka retreated, vowing that he would not forget the defeat. In the aftermath, Terra approached the frozen Esper, transformed into an Esper-like form, and flew away.
Yeah, that's where she first goes Super Saiyan.
Woo! The Returners found Terra in the care of an Esper, Ramu, who has asked them to infiltrate the Empire's Magitech research facility in the capital city, Vector, to free the captive Espers there. Ramu told the Returners about Magicite, the remains of dead Espers, and the able to transfer their power to their holders more effectively than the Empire's Magitech extractions.
Yeah.
And then, oh, that's cool. Okay, so here's a fun fact from Box Girl. So Doma, fun fact, Cyan's name was originally Kyan, like Hien's dad from 14.
Oh.
I like that.
Didn't know that.
So, in the facility, the returners spied on Kefka's torturing the weakened Espers Ifrit and Shiva, deeming them drained of power and worthless to him. He tossed the two into a garbage chute, and the returners retrieved their magicite and continued on to the main labs.
Yeah, it's also another tough scene to watch. They're just like drinking all the espers.
The returners shut down the extraction tubes, but the espers had been drained too much of their energy and transformed into magicite. The head of the Magitech research, Professor Sid, came upon the scene and realized the truth about Magitech power. Kefka was nearby and also learned this and ordered Celeste to bring the magicite to him. Kefka claimed that Celeste had faked her defection to infiltrate the returners, and when the group let their guard down, he ordered a pair of Imperials with magitech armor to attack.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I love Celeste. She's my favorite in the game.
Celeste teleported Kefka and his own men away to show loyalty, and the group left with Sid. Sid sent down a mine cart to the outside. They rendezvoused with Stelzer, the owner of the airship Blackjack, and they ferried them to Vector. Kefka rushed to the Imperial Palace and activated a pair of cranes to attack the Blackjack, but the returners destroyed them and escaped. The returners learned that Terra was half Esper and headed to the cave of the sealed gate and led to the Esper world so that Terra could ask the Espers to aid in attacking the Empire. At the gate, Kefka appeared and taunted them, claiming that he and Greshel had allowed Terra to fall into the hands of the returners so they would open the gate for them. Bum bum.
Tricked them.
And then, as the returners and Kefka fought, Terra's call were answered and the gate opened, after which the Espers rushed out and carried Kefka away. The Espers attacked Vector and decimated the Empire. Thank you. By the time the returners arrived to investigate the aftermath, Greshel had found out that Kefka's actions at Doma and imprisoned him for war crimes, because Kefka commits war crimes.
Yeah, he does. It's surprising that it took... The only reason he did it this time is because he failed. If he would have won, he would have been like, all right, cool. You did it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah. Fun stuff. But at this point, we will take a quick mid-break, thank our patrons, and we'll be right back.
Choice Hotels get you more of what you value. Here's a little tune to help you remember. Same drive, different day. Don't you wish you were getting away? Pack your bags and come on through. Texas, Ohio, Alaska, we're up there too. Comfort Inn, it's calling your name. Save on the stay. Oh, and free waffles are yours to claim. Well, I hope you like my little song. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Cats, this ad is for you. Has your human ever called you picky, persnickety, choosy? If so, Perfect Bistro Cat Food is for you. With ingredients like wild-caught tuna and pasture-raised lamb, tantalizing textures, and delectable flavors that meet even the most discerning cat standards. You're not picky, you're just perfectionists. Perfect Bistro, mealtime perfection for every cat. Have your human visit perfectbistro.com.
All right, welcome to the middle of the show. We talk about everything with the podcast. That has nothing to do with the lore of Final Fantasy. Here, we want to thank all of our amazing patrons. Thank you guys all so much for supporting the show. And if you too want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Final Fantasy Lorecast, where you can get ad-free episodes or even join us once a month on the show itself. You can also leave us with nice Spotify reviews or Apple comments or nice Spotify comments or whatever I just said. If you leave a 5-star review on Apple with some words or a nice Spotify comment, we'll read it out loud next time on the show, which we do have some from our Spotify. So from Sephiroth Part 2 from Summer of Heroes, Sephiroth's 7-second till the end quote has got to be my favorite FF quote yet. 7 seconds till the end. Time enough for you, perhaps. But what will you do with that time? Let's see.
Good one.
Yeah. And then also from our Lightning Part 2 episode from Bailey, I just know being a patron would be a bad idea for me because 13 was the game that introduced me to FF, and it's my favorite, so I would be such a stickler for grammar and mispronunciations. I would probably annoy y'all. Also, 13 summons, look, and transformations were awesome. I will take no criticism or other opinions. Thank you. XD, like the laughing emoji. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they weren't cool or anything. The transformation stuff was pretty cool.
I said that.
Oh, you said that.
I said that.
And, you know, grammar mispronunciations. It's me. What do you expect? I'm not perfect.
It's true. I'm reading along with him while we do these, and a lot of the time I just gotta bite my tongue. It's like, you know what? It's fine. You know what we're saying.
Yeah, you all should know. I'm terrible with English.
It's unfortunate.
I know, right? And I speak it. I'm not good with grammar at all. English was my worst subject in school.
Let's be fair. Some of the names in Final Fantasy are just
ridiculous.
You can't pronounce them unless you created the name. Yeah. I'm pretty sure only the developers know how to pronounce some of these names.
Yeah, probably. Plus, you know, Japanese into English doesn't always, like, truly, you know, work.
It's definitely not a one-to-one.
No. So, yeah, you know, it happens. And then, other than that, you can also find us on a few different Discord servers. The Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, as well as my own Discord server, the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord, where you can find this show and all the other shows that I host, which are Holocron History, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends, the Gundam Lorecast, the Wizarding World Lorecast, and the Witcher Lorecast. And then, just like Box Girl says, it's part of the pod's charm. Thank you. Thank you, Box Girl. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but if you do want to become a patron, you can have a whole episode. I mean, it's your choice when we do the patron chats. If you want to write down every time.
I don't have to make show notes. It's you guys that you want to talk about. It's all for you.
If you want to
guys.
write down a list of all the words that Ben has mispronounced or myself, we can just go over all.
That's going to be a very long, like, 2-parter episode.
That would be a 2-part patron chat, but
if not longer.
And growing.
It's growing, yeah. So, yeah, fun stuff. Other than that, there's not really a whole lot of news going around besides the whole tactics thing. I did find out the Distant Worlds Orchestra is coming to a city near me, well, southern of me in Ohio, so down in Cincinnati, which would be really, really fun to go to.
Nice. Take out a second mortgage so you can go see it.
It's only like most expensive tickets were like $100 for front row.
Well, for yours, yeah, that's good. Not for mine.
Oh, well, sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then you know you can find us on playing Final Fantasy 14 when it's not down for maintenance. As of recording this, it's down for maintenance, so we can't play.
Well, guess we got to do a pod instead.
Yeah. Okay. But I don't have anything else from the mid-break. Do you have anything?
I do not.
Cool. Let's get back into it.
Vacation rental hosts can make or break a vacation. Luckily, Vrbo makes it easy to find the ones who make it stress-free. Vrbo's Premier Hosts badge highlights vacation rental hosts with top-tier listings. The ones with excellent guest experience reviews, 0 cancellations, and strong ratings across the board. For trip planners who want to be hosted, not ghosted, choose Premier Hosts. Book today on the Vrbo app. If you know, you Vrbo.
This episode is brought to you by San Pellegrino Ciao. A gift from Italy to your home. San Pellegrino Ciao is a flavored sparkling water made with real fruit juice, finished with a pinch of Sicilian salt for a perfectly balanced taste. So which flavor will you choose? Peach, lime, blood orange, cherry, or maybe the all-new limoncello? Crafted in Italy with 0 grams of added sugar. San Pellegrino Ciao. Buy it now.
Just realized this might be a little bit longer episode.
I told you.
So now getting into his ascension. So Greshel called for a ceasefire that asked the returners to aid the Empire in locating the rogue Espers and getting them to attend peace talks to end the war. The returners agreed, and Terra and Locke accompanied the Imperial expedition led by General Leo to Thamasa. Where the Espers had last been sighted. They found the Espers and convinced them to return to Thamasa to meet with Leo. At the town, the two sides had reached the understanding with when Kefka appeared with a small contingent of Magitech armor soldiers and incapacitated the returners and Imperials alike. Dun dun. Kefka told Leo that he was there to, on Greshel's order, and kill the Espers and seize their magicite. He then ordered the troops to burn the town. Leo fought Kefka to stop him, and Kefka vanished and called for Emperor Greshel. Greshel seemed to appear before Leo and admitted that his true goal was to acquire power, but Greshel then turned to Kefka, who revealed that Leo had been fighting and speaking with illusions. Kefka then pushed Leo to the ground, leapt on top of him, and killed him.
Yeah. That we need for just the remake. That we need that scene alone because that would be gnarly.
Yeah. Oh God, that'd be terrifying. As Kefka revealed the power rush the magicite was given him, the sealed gate was forced open again, and another group of Espers that sensed the deaths of their friends, they flew to Thamasa to attack Kefka, but he neutralized and slaughtered them, claiming their magicite. Kefka returned to Greshel, and the two entered the Esper world and found the Warning Triad, a trinity of ancient petrified gods that originally created the Espers and magic itself. With the power of the Warring Triad, Greshel raised the island. The sealed gate was on the floating continent, the Triad at its summit.
Yeah. So more killing. He's just killing everybody.
The returners flew to the floating continent on the Blackjack and confronted Greshel and Kefka. Celeste stepped forward to try and talk sense into Greshel, but he used the Triad's power to paralyze the other returners and invited for Celeste to join him and Kefka in ruling the world. Kefka gave Celeste a sword that ordered her to kill the others to prove her loyalty, but Celeste rounded on Kefka and stabbed him. Infuriated, Kefka called out the Warring Triad and they began to react.
Not good.
No. Greshel ordered him to cease as the Triad's awakening would destroy the world and there was no value in such a thing, but Kefka refused. Greshel tried to strike down Kefka with magic, but his attacks were absorbed by the magical field that the Triad projected. Kefka ordered them to show Greshel their true powers, and bolts of divine lightning rained down around him. One struck Greshel and mortally wounded the Emperor, and Kefka kicked him off the ledge of the floating continent to his death.
He just... And they're creative with it, too.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to kill the Emperor, but I'm going to do it my own way. Kick.
Yeah.
Kefka knocked Celeste alongside and moved the Triad, disrupting their balance of power. Shadow arrived to begin to push back the place, pinning Kefka between them. With the disruption of power, the returners were freed and escaped to the Blackjack with Shadow, but it was too late to stop the damage Kefka had done. With the formation change and their balance destroyed, the power of the Warring Triad was unleashed on the world in a chaotic cataclysm and reshaped the face of the planet, killed countless people and animals, and destroyed the Blackjack, scattering the party across the world.
Yeah. So he won.
Yeah, he won. Yeah, a villain who wins.
Yeah, that's why he is the best, in my opinion.
Because he's one of the few FF villains that actually won.
Yeah, did what he wanted to do. He just killed so many people.
Yeah. So in the year that followed, Kefka built a tower in the former location of Vector, using debris from the Imperial City and the rest of the world in its construction. He situated himself atop the tower, guarded by the Triad, and drained their power to become the god of magic. In the ruined husk of the left of the world, citizens lived in constant fear of Kefka, using the light of judgment to burn down their town if they displeased him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Kefka used the light to destroy Mobliz and attacked South Ferraro as well. Though his citizens regrouped and rebuilt the town, he later attacked Tenzin, but the only destruction caused was the collapse of a manor home. A cult dedicated to worship of Kefka was created, with the members building their own tower. The citizens around the world, either afraid of Kefka's wrath or with no purpose left in their lives, left to join the cult.
Yeah, that's a fun little tower to climb too.
I'm afraid of it. Because I had the Magic the Gathering card. Like, his tower is a card in in Magic now.
Mm-hmm. It's one, like, even if you're overpowered, it's a pain to beat that
lovely.
part.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then, with his downfall, the returners regrouped and invaded Kefka's tower, destroying the Warring Triad before they reached the tower summit. They stood before Kefka as he flaunted his power and told them that their lives were meaningless and insignificant. The returners replied that he was wrong and gave him their reasons for living, but Kefka refused to accept this and turned his light a judgment on the world. The returners attacked, and Kefka fought them in the form of a divine being, but was defeated and faded away.
Meanwhile, the greatest Final Fantasy song is playing in the background.
Ooh.
If you need to pause this and play the 12-minute version of Dancing Mad, especially the Black Mage's version, it's incredible.
Good to know. With Kefka's defeat, the source of magic in the world was gone. The party's magicite crumbled to dust, and Terra's power began to fade. With the last of her strength, she led the party out of the tower with the new airship, the Falcon. They escaped the collapse of Kefka's tower. Terra survived the destruction of magic due to her bond with the orphans of Mobliz, allowing her to remain in the world as a pure human. With Kefka's death, the world began to rebuild, and the returners savored their victory.
So, he won for a while.
Yeah.
Until he did.
He won for a while, yes. And then Boxer on chat says, lots of elixirs and ethers for Kefka's tower.
Yes.
Ooh, and oh, wow. And True Speak says, dancing mad over One-Winged Angel as much as he loves FF7.
He's 100% right.
Oh, I haven't heard Dancing Mad. I'm going to have to listen to that now. Because I obviously have listened to One-Winged Angel, because,
pretty
7.
great. Look it up on YouTube for the Black Mage's version. It's so good.
All right. And then now getting into other appearances. So that is his story. He's gone, defeated, whatnot. So he does appear in other games. So Kefka has made appearances in other Final Fantasy games, such as Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis as an event boss. His motifs were used in both weapons and currency. Final Fantasy XIV as the final boss of Sigmascape version 4.0, the final wing of the Omega Sigmascape raid in the Stormblood expansion, which was pretty cool, not gonna lie. The Stormblood Omega raids were pretty cool because they brought in a lot of other like bosses from the Final Fantasy universe.
You get to fight the Phantom Train.
Yeah, you get to fight the Phantom Train. You get, I think the last boss next to Omega was Chaos. It was Garland and then Chaos.
Yeah,
which is FF1, which is pretty cool. So we have Final Fantasy Tactics S as a playable character. Final Fantasy Dimensions 2 as a summon. Dissidia Final Fantasy as a playable character, as well as Dissidia 12 and Dissidia NT. Also as Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnium as a playable character and enemy boss. Theorhythm Final Fantasy as an enemy boss. Theorhythm Final Fantasy Curtain Call as an enemy boss. Theorhythm Final Fantasy All-Star Carnival as a playable character and enemy boss. Piclogica Final Fantasy as a playable character. Final Fantasy Airborne Brigade as a summonable legend. Final Fantasy Artnix as a series of cards. Final Fantasy All the Bravest as a playable character. Final Fantasy Wrecker Keeper as a playable character. Final Fantasy Brave Exodus as a summonable vision and enemy boss. War of Visions Final Fantasy Brave Exodus as an enemy boss, which is a game you can still play compared to Brave Exodus. And a Final Fantasy trading card game as a series of cards, which is the actual Final Fantasy trading card game, not the Magic one.
Yes.
And then non-Final Fantasy guest appearances. Kefka has made key appearances in other following non-Final Fantasy games. So we have Etika Street series as a playable character, Lord of Vermilion series, Puzzle and Dragons as a tangible character and enemy boss, Monster Strike as a playable character, Kingdom Hearts Unchained X as the event boss named Mysterious Sir.
Really?
They don't even call him Kefka, but they just call him Mysterious Sir. Which, I don't know, can you still play Unchained? Because that's the mobile one, isn't it? Or no?
I don't know. There's too many of them to keep track of.
Oh, God. Unchained is the... I'm looking here. This one was... Oh, God. 3D action RPG.
It's probably mobile if it was an event boss.
Oh, wait. This is Kingdom Hearts as a whole. What the heck am I looking at?
It's a mobile game, yeah.
It's a mobile game. Okay. Yeah, I think you might be able to still play it. I don't know. Yokai Watch Wibble Wobble as a playable character. He's in
Yokai Watch. I don't know, but it's in 14.
Yeah, Yokai Watch was like a kind of something similar to Pokemon, but instead of pocket monsters, it was yokai spirits of, mythology. Yeah. So non-Final Fantasy appearances. So in The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, there is a dungeon called the Kefka Burial.
Really? Fun.
It's so hard to go back and play that game.
It's tough.
It's so hard to play that game now. In Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, Kefka is mentioned in the Japanese version as one of the incorrect answers in Dr. Topper's quiz. Specifically, who is the ultimate enemy in this adventure? In the localized versions, it was changed to Goomba. Oh, that's boring. Boo. And then, obviously, Kefka is depicted on a card in the Magic the Gathering collaboration with Final Fantasy.
Quite a few cards.
Yeah, he's in a lot. He has one called Dancing Mad. By the way, there's a card called Dancing Mad, which I have multiple copies of that one right now. I'm still trying to get my Yostola showcase from the collector boosters, which is a tough thing to get.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then we have, obviously, behind the scenes. So, in the development, according to Final Fantasy VI director Yoshinori Katatsu, the scene where Kefka and his company soldiers dust off the shoes was an ad-libbed into the script, as he felt the original introduction scene was too boring. He wrote it as to give the players an early implication that Kefka had a few screws missing.
I'll say.
The developers did not intentionally intend to create a world of ruin. Rather, the plan was to the party to save the world and defeat Kefka just as the world was about to be destroyed. However, because the game was coming along more smoothly than expected, the developers could free up time to implement another version of the world after its quote-unquote end.
You sure don't hear that very often. The game was going smoother than usual.
It was going smoothly. He's like, what? When does development go smoothly? Although Kefka's status as a Magitek Knight was strongly implied throughout the game, the player does not find out this during the standard gameplay. It instead requires the player infiltrate Vector, reach the bar area without getting caught, and talk to the barman.
Which is a giant pain.
I bet. In the early versions of Final Fantasy VI, before the player fights Kefka, he says, life, hope, dreams? Where do they come from? And where are they going? This is similar to the title of one of Paul Gauguin's most famous paintings, Where Do We Come From? What Are We? Where Are We Going? A variation of the above quote was used in the Halloween event for Final Fantasy XIV in 2011, which, oh god, that would have been 1.0. Oh god.
Wow.
Life, dreams, imps, where do they come from and where do they go? This was one of the many lines indicating that an imp had spawned for players to interact with in town. We don't talk about 1.0. And then because of different aspects ratios for the platforms that make these screens shorter, and in the GBA and iOS versions of Final Fantasy VI, characters move differently in some cutscenes to keep them in frame. With Kefka, this is the most observable thing during the party's confrontation with him before the final battle. In the Super NES and PlayStation releases, Kefka stands still on his perch, but in the subsequent releases, he moves up and down, and the field of energy surrounding him follows him. The 2013 and Pixel Remaster version of Final Fantasy VI also retained this change. Interesting. And Dissidia, yeah. In Destiny of Final Fantasy, Kefka breaks the fourth wall during the victory pose, leaning back and make a face to the viewer as the camera rotates around him. This has become a recurring trait of Kefka in spin-off appearances. In Destiny NT, one of the intro poses is to pretend to creep past the camera before stopping and turning to face the viewer, and as a victory pose, the camera tilts out of place and Kefka levels it before stepping back to pose with the team.
So he's the Deadpool of Final Fantasy.
That's terrifying. In Opera Omnium, he looks as the viewer in the same manner and as his Destia NT intro pose when using his Havoc Wing EX ability. In Final Fantasy XIV, Kefka brings his hands together and memes a gun pointing at the party as the camera moves in front of him, and he grins and fires at the viewer as the battle begins.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That was also like, oh, okay. I don't like this. I mean, honestly, when I started doing the raids, when I got to that point, I was like, that's a clown? Oh, damn it.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, that's a clown face. Oh, no. So, pop culture impact. Kefka is considered one of the most popular villains in Final Fantasy by fans and critics, often being compared to Sephiroth in terms of impact and legacy. His ruthlessness and brutality, dark sense of humor, and success in attainment of godhood and ruling over the world for a year before being killed are often cited as reasons for his appeal. Video game websites including GameSpot, IGN, Kotaku, and GameSpy have consistently ranked Kefka high in polls of Final Fantasy characters and video game villains and bosses, both in staff-written articles and in reader polls. He's often compared favorably to the Joker from the Batman media for reasons including his clown-like appearance, chaotic insanity, and evil laugh.
Yeah, he is basically the Joker.
He's the Joker of Final Fantasy. Absolutely. And then you can now get into the voice. So Kefka's English voice actor is Dave Wittenberg, who also voices Yazoo in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, Imodar in Final Fantasy XIII, Captain Cryptic in Final Fantasy XIII-2. Wittenberg voiced him in the high-pitched and comical top tone and that occasionally drops to intimidating growl. In the Japanese versions, Kefka was voiced by Singuru Chiba, who have also voices Volcus in the OVA Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals, and Provus Zaidu Tensky in Final Fantasy Agito and Final Fantasy Type 0. I just learned about the Legend of the Crystals like today, as we're recording this, which was an animated thing they did in the '94, which I did not know existed. So something you know. And Final Fantasy Agito, I don't know that. Oh, it was an iOS Android game. Okay. So, the City of Final Fantasy was the first instance of Kefka being vocalized, and Wittenberg and Chiba have returned to voice Kefka in all appearances since that have featured voice acting. Chiba would later voice Professor Hojo in the remake project of the Final Fantasy VII, which was later given in an indirect allusion in Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis collaboration when Aerith Gainsborough compared Kefka to Hojo when reflecting on the outfitting her with the slave crown. And Ever Crisis is the mobile game for everybody. Yeah. And they like to do like a bunch of like random collaborations with other Final Fantasy stuff that clearly don't make sense for 7.
Yeah.
So Kefka is known for his high-pitched trademark cackle. Kefka laughs often, but usually only crackles prior to a significant plot event. As the game progresses, the laughter is remixed slightly, and in the final battle is extended to almost 5 seconds at the start of the battle, and the normal laughter is frequently repeated during the rest of the fight. Kefka's trademark cackle is incorporated into the Dancing Mad track and is audible just before the track begins to loop.
Terrifying laugh.
That is okay.
I don't know if you've heard it.
I don't know. Besides 14, that's the only time I heard it was in 14.
I wish we could link it in here at some point. It's probably short enough where we could play it.
Is it like a sound clip?
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Let me see. I can get to YouTube.
We'll figure it out.
I mean, I can get it in here. It just comes up on my end. But it will be YouTube.
Yeah. It's literally 7 seconds.
Did you hear that?
No.
What's in the audio? So.
Oh, okay.
And woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. It's just a really high pitch. That was from 6 itself. So.
Yeah. That's the one you want.
Yeah. So in Dissidia, okay, so True Speak could hear it. So, okay, cool.
Okay.
It's in the track. In Dissidia, Kefka's laugh is performed by his voice actors in a manner identical to the synthesized sound effect used in Final Fantasy VI.
There you go.
And then the same original sound effect of Kefka's laugh in the original Super NES port of Final Fantasy VI has returned in the Pixel Remaster port in the Final Fantasy XIV. In Final Fantasy VII, the player can hear a lower, slowed-down version of Kefka's signature laugh if they go to the Ghost Square of the Gold Saucer and inspect a face in the corner of the item shop. They can also hear the laugh when Tifa and Cloud fall in the live stream at Medell. Kefka's laugh also appears in Square's Chrono Trigger when the player talks to Nolston Beckler in the Millennial Fair. The player can also hear it from Ozzy Zalara. One of Final Fantasy XII's Espers uses a remake of Kefka's laugh for his final attack, Condemnation.
Woo!
Yeah.
We did it.
We did it. It was a little bit longer than normal, but it's still under the hour or close to the hour.
Worth it.
Yeah, Truth Speaks is terrifying, and then Box goes, yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Kefka's laugh. Just like clowns in general. Like my grandmother collected clown dolls and stuff like that, so I don't have the fondest memory of clowns, and seeing Kefka, and I was like, oh no. Like I wasn't like we were talking about Digimon earlier, like beginning of the show. I was like, I wasn't a fan of Paimon because I was not a fan of clowns.
I love it. I think it's awesome because I have no bad feelings about clowns, so I like him and Paimon. Sure.
But yeah, that's what we have on Kefka. One of the best villains. We already covered Sephiroth. Now we covered the last best villain in Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if anybody has any other characters they might like us to go over, another villain maybe or something like that, Exdeath, Golbez would be nice. Maybe we'll do more villains instead of heroes because we've been doing a lot of heroes.
I got an idea for the next one.
Ooh.
But feel free in the Discord if you want to put more.
Cool.
Maybe a little combo episode next week.
My kid played it and now says F that clown. Oh, that's great, Box Girl. All right.
Yes,
well,
indeed.
do you have anything else to add to this episode, Stephen? Cool.
No.
Well, with that being said, everybody, thank you again for listening to the Final Fantasy Lorecast, and may the crystals guide you. Thank you for listening to the Final Fantasy Lorecast. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, the Ben and Friends podcasting Discord, where you can share your thoughts, experiences, and love for the Final Fantasy lore. You can also find us on Twitter at FF Lorecast.